Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. For you craving something scary?
Oh, yes, the amazing, talented Jack Stannis. Thank you so much for that, man. What a great thing. He sent me that clip a couple days ago and said, "Here you go, just in case you want to use this for your Halloween end streams." And I love it. So thanks, Jack. Gonna have Jack on soon. It's been a while, and he's been a real busy cat. But who hasn't, right? It's been a busy. It's busy for everybody. But he'll be back soon. All right, guys, listen, it is a Halloween ends weekend, man. Here we are. That's right. Crazy time. I streamed at 11 yesterday, and I'm streaming again at 11 a.m. Central today. I had to do it. Too much to talk about in one stream. So, this is like a discussion that's going to be carried over multiple streams, literally multiple streams. Streaming again tonight, which, by the way, if you're not aware, I am doing a live watch party. That's right, Halloween Fest that I've been doing with Night Watch Zone, and for the last 5 weeks, I think. It comes to a close tonight, and we will be finishing up. We watched it on his channel last night, and then tonight we're going to be watching Halloween Ends live with you on the stream tonight at 10 p.m. Central Time. 10 p.m. Central. In fact, do I have it loaded up? I do have it loaded up. There it is, guys. Tonight, Halloween Fest will end with our concluding, our final watch party of Halloween Ends. So I hope you guys will make plans to join me tonight with Night Watch Zone, Coriander, and, of course, Katie from Popping the Popcorn. It's the Halloween Fest team. We've been doing all these movies together, and we'll finish it up tonight. So anyway, hope you guys will make plans to be there as well. But I felt another stream today needed to be done. Not just tonight's watch party, but a morning stream, a rare Saturday morning stream especially. So here I am. And I have guests coming in just a moment, and they're going to help us with our discussion as we take a closer look at Halloween Ends. And before we do that, and before I bring all my guests in, I do want to say hello to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. And as folks continue to come in, want to say hi to Million. What's going on, Million? Well, Million says people are trying to bully you for loving the movie. Well, you know what, Million? You're in a safe place, buddy, because you know there ain't no bullying tolerated here. Yeah, that was bad grammar, but it makes good sense. There is no bullying here. So don't worry, buddy. You are safe. And this is a place where we can all exchange views, whether you love it, can't stand it, or if you're right in the middle, it's okay. It's all right. It's no wrong opinion on the movie. So as long as we respect each other and always put the person before the opinion, we're going to be fine. All right, Ted's in the house. What's up, Ted, Mark, Matt? I see you guys here. Katie, speaking of Katie, there she is. Helping to moderate the chat this morning. Thank you, Katie. And Chucky Jordy's here, and Melissa's here. Awesome, guys. Eric from Smells Like Teen Horror. Good to see you. Me, myself, in a movie. Hey, it has been a while. Good to see you here. I am doing well, and I hope you are as well. Is that right? Is that too many wells? Yeah, it's all good. Carl, what's going on? Carl from the UK. Good afternoon. Welcome. All right, Danny's here. Danny Melendez is in the house with us tonight. And Shell is here. Good. Welcome to the stream. And I do want to say quickly, guys, as we're getting started, and Extron's here. I think that's everybody that's left a message. Be sure, you guys, number one, hit that like button right now. If you have not done so, let's hit that, smash that thumbs up button. We're at 23 likes already, and I would love for us to get to at least 50 to 75. Yep, that's right. I said it, 50 to 75. And I know it may be a lighter attendance today, being a Saturday morning. People are out and about. So it may be a smaller crowd, but that's okay. We can do it. All right. Lastly, but not leastly, it's time to introduce you guys to the panel. So I've got 4 guests coming on today. And the cool thing is, I have not spoken with any of these gentlemen about the movie prior to this stream. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to hear everyone's takes. And I've been really trying to keep the panels diverse in terms of folks that are coming in who've not, so we get to hear a lot of people's opinions. So that's what you're going to get today. And they're all great guys. They're all great guys. So let me introduce you guys first of all, I should say, to one of someone who's no stranger to the stream, and he's a pillar of the community. And he's been a director's cut level for as far back as I think that it was created, and he's just a great guy. I've had him on several times, and you guys all know him. And he's got some big plans coming up for his channel launch. And I'll let him tell you. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you can tell it better than me, Mr. Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns. What's going on, man?
What's up, Craven? Hey, everybody. How we doing?
Man, I'm doing great. So glad you're here with us this morning, man.
Thank you for having me. I saw the message. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
You're welcome, buddy. I'm glad to do it. All right, we'll keep it going here. Another guest I've had on last week for the very first time on the channel, and really enjoying our conversations. And I anticipate you guys may be seeing a lot more of him as the future goes, because I enjoy our conversations, our talks together that we've had a couple now. We've had a couple of watch parties too, and they've all been really fun. So let me introduce you guys back to the channel this week. Michael from Movies and Beyond. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, glad to see you, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, these two guys, man, I'll tell you what, these two fellas coming up are great. Man, for the longest time, I'm like, we've got the next power duo on YouTube. These guys, and when they get together, it is a show. It's entertaining. And so let me first start off with one of my favorite names, and long before I ever met him, and I think when he first started the channel, even, and Marcus, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but when I saw the name, it just always jumped off the screen, and it's something that just is so fun to say because we all know it. It's iconic. The name is iconic. It was smart, and yeah, and he's a smart guy, so it makes sense. Please welcome Marcus, and you know him. A lot of you know him better as I shot him 6 times.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on this morning, Craven. I appreciate it. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And yes, we do, for real. And we have one more guest to round out the panel for this morning or this afternoon, depending when you're watching this. And he also is no stranger to the channel. Another pillar, just like Marcus is, as well, and Bobby, as I've talked about. And he is, man, he's a cool guy. And I really enjoy, man, he's very diverse too. Whether you're into wrestling, college football, gameplay, right, or Halloween talk. I mean, he's all over the place because he's always hunting for entertainment. He's always on the hunt. So please welcome, from hunting for entertainment, my good friend, Mr. Bob Hunt. What's up, Bob?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad this week my college team had a bye week. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
It worked out perfectly then. That's awesome.
It did, and I'm just gonna say this now. Expect South Carolina news because I'm calling it now. We're gonna beat Texas A&M next week.
Oh no! Oh no!
Let's not talk college football. It's been a rough season.
Boy, yeah, we're going to have to save that discussion, man.
It's been a rough season.
Oh dang!
Oh, man.
But you guys heard it here first. Bob bringing a hot take. There you go, man. Love it. And real quick, Carrie's in the chat. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you here. And Scummy is joined as well. Hey, Scummy. And Kelly and Ashley Everson, welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. Make yourself at home. And we're going to be getting into it here in just 1 second. Before we do, though, I want us to remember a couple of things. Number one is how we conduct ourselves in this community. And the reason I bring this up again is, well, it's good to be reminded, but also with the polarizing film that we have, which is going to be, and we all, I think, knew this was going to be a divisive movie even before it came out. It's going to like split. And it's interesting because I ran a poll. I should have run a poll now too. I might. But I ran a poll the other day on the stream, the first stream, of did you like it or did you not like it? And it was 120 votes, and it was 50. I always get the math wrong here. It's 53% yes, 47% no. Literally, it's right down the middle. You can just take it right down the middle, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen before this movie came out. But it's good to be reminded of our code of conduct, because my moderators here will be moderating the chat and making sure everyone is staying in line with your comments and being respectful to one another, because you're going to find people here today that love the movie, like it's their favorite of the trilogy I've even seen. You're going to find others that are going to be like, this movie should not be associated with this franchise. And you're going to find some people that are like, it's all right. Whatever. It's going to be all over the place, and that's okay. These are opinions, and they're subjective, and there's no wrong answer. So Bobby may love it. Michael may hate it. Marcus may say, it's all right. And Bob may be like, I don't even know what to say. And you know what? You're all right. You're all correct. Because it's what it's about. It's a personal experience and opinions. But let's hear our good friend here reminding us the code of conduct. Here we go.
Sup, dog? My name is Ronnie. What's your name? Don't talk to me, you airhead. Stop! What's wrong with this scene? Don't forget golden rule number 3. RESPECT. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. It's that simple. We take rude behavior very seriously. Be respectful to everyone on... Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? We expect everyone to be appropriate and uplifting to others.
Yo, don't even trip, dog. Well,
all right, there you go. Don't even trip, dog.
All right.
There we go. There you go, folks. If we follow the code of conduct, and we're gonna have fun, everybody's gonna have a good time, and that's what we're all here for, to have a good time. And last bit of news here, guys, our housekeeping I want to make sure I take care of is something that's always very important to me, and it is acknowledging all of my patrons and channel members, because you guys, really, your support is what keeps this channel growing. It keeps the channel moving, and it really helps me to continue making you content as often as I possibly can, which I try to keep it very, very, very regular. Oh my gosh, we lost somebody. We lost Bob again. That's all right. He's coming back. Don't worry. He'll be back. And so I want to acknowledge you guys super quick here and put the spotlight on you, because it really does mean a lot to me. So for all my channel members, thank you so much for your support, and my patrons as well. And here you go, guys. I want you guys to get the recognition you deserve. Here we go. All right. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. Okay. Well, all right, gentlemen. I think it's time. It's that time. And by the way, I want to say hi to Joe Joyce in the house. I see you there. Positive Man. That's a great name. Okay. Welcome, guys. Now, also want to mention, if you guys look, I got a panel of 4 people, guys. We're going to be talking. It's going to get very, very focused on conversations. And if you have a comment that you want to bring to the table or a question for the panel, and you want to make sure that we get it covered, please send in a super chat. It'll go to the front of the line, and we'll be able to get that up. We'll try to get to others as well, of course, but just want to let you know it's going to be impossible to get to everyone's questions. So if we don't take it personal. It's not that at all. It's just a matter of time and the panel. We got a lot going on, so it's just no way we're going to get to everybody. But I promise you this, every super chat that comes in will be covered, will be addressed, guaranteed. All right, so just want to mention that out there. And having said that, here we go, guys. All right, so tell me, I want to start really just overview. So before we get into the nitty-gritty scenes, characters, it's all coming. Bobby, I want to start with you, and we'll just go right around to Michael, then to Marcus and Bob, and then back to me. Tell me just overall, just your initial feeling about this movie after seeing it. And first of all, tell us, how many times have you seen it? Just curious.
Once, just once.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah. So once last night in the theaters. I'll probably watch it. I'm watching it again next Friday, actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But overall review, I was let down, to say the least. Didn't feel like a Halloween movie to me. First hour was kind of slow. It was a love story, which cool, I guess.
Hey, Bobby, hold on. Hold on, Bobby. Are you guys hearing the robotic voice? It's like starting to freak me out, man. It's like
from me.
Yeah, it's like you're talking. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like it's modulating your voice down like a robot. It's weird. I don't know what. Maybe it's the AirPods. Are your batteries charged? I don't know what that is.
I think they are.
It's Blumhouse. They're going to be like, you will not bash our movie.
It's Colonel
Yeah,
Cochran.
Blumhouse is haunting
maybe.
us.
You want me to switch
Let's see
back
what
to
Michael has to say. We're going to do the same thing to him.
Ben says the evil is fast to him.
I'm gonna have to listen back to this. Wow.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but I think it's hilarious. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Do you want me to switch back to the beats or?
Yes, because I can't.
Okay.
I can't deal with that robot, dude. It's killing me, man. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh
Okay.
man.
And I hear a bad echo. There we go. The echo's gone. Okay. I think Bobby might be gone too. No,
Yeah,
we
I think
lost.
Bobby's frozen.
I'll
There
tell
we
you.
go.
Telling you, they got
Okay.
him.
Now.
I think Cochran, there's something going on. All right, Bobby. Oh no. Okay. You know what? We're gonna come back to Bobby while Bobby figures out what's going on. Guys, this is live. You got to realize this is live, buddy. There's no net. We are live. All right, Michael, we're gonna go to you. Bobby, don't worry if you can hear me. We'll get back to you, buddy. Don't worry. Michael, go ahead. Give me your overall. How many times have you seen it and your overall thoughts right now?
I've seen this movie twice at this point, and I think that it was a beautiful movie, and I don't want my system knocked down or anything. No, I'm just kidding. So
those mats to come alive.
Right. So yeah, a quick overview for me. I've seen the movie twice. The first 40 minutes or so, I'm kind of like, where's Michael at? But you know what? I'm definitely digging this movie. And then about 40 minutes in, that's when it all went downhill for me. And it went downhill pretty bad.
Okay.
And I think that I was accepting more things the first time I was watching it. Like, it's okay. It'll get better. It'll get better. And then, about 40 minutes in, I'm just like, this isn't getting any better. And of course, I finished it and I went, through the motions. But I didn't want to react to it the first time that I saw it because things do get better. You
True.
watch them a second time, you see more things, you appreciate more about the movie. And after the second time watch, I felt the same way. I feel like if you're going to end a trilogy, you want a grand stage, you want a final battle of epic proportions, especially between arguably, nobody fry me on the internet for saying this, the best final girl out of a slasher genre.
You mean Sydney Prescott? Excuse me. I'm sorry. What were you?
That's a whole nother stream, and I would love to get into with that. But arguably the best final girl, and arguably
there you go.
one of
That's
the
fair.
best slashers of all time. And you're going to end a great trilogy, my opinion, great trilogy on a very less than great ending for it. And I don't know. I have a lot. I don't want to hog the mic, and I don't want to just keep going on and on. I have a lot to say about this, but I'm overall I was disappointed,
Okay.
even more so than I thought I would be.
Okay.
Talking about what we thought the movie was.
Right. Fair. Oh yeah. And we're going to get into a lot of those specifics here as we continue. Bobby, are you good, buddy? Is everything cool?
Do I still sound like a robot? I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you know what? We'll work through it, man. It's going to be okay. I don't know. It's really
No
strange
idea.
because
Wait.
it was like before we went live backstage, it was fine. It's
Yeah.
so bizarre, dude. I don't know
It
what
took
it
a
is.
while for my headphones to connect too, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Should I try without headphones completely? Or?
I don't know if it's the headphones or not. We want to try real quick? Go ahead. Go ahead. We got technical difficulties, guys. Just hang with us, all right? Hang with us.
Hello. I still sound.
Uh-oh.
Really? That's just my voice.
No. Your voice. I think let's try that.
Okay, we'll roll with this.
Let's roll with that. Let's see how
When
it
you
goes.
said it sounded like a robot, I'm like, eh.
It was just
see.
really strange, but it's all good, buddy. Okay, so Bobby, before we get to Marcus, we'll go back to Bobby where we started and had to stop.
Thank you.
Tell us you've seen it once right now. What's your overall thoughts at this point?
All right, so it didn't feel like a Halloween movie to me. I don't know. Now, this is gonna sound like a dumb question, but I went into this movie completely blind. Besides the first trailer, where did this Corey character come from?
Well,
like I didn't read any theories. I didn't first trailer, no nothing. So like this came out of nowhere for me.
Wow.
I'm glad I had it in that way, but apparently I missed something.
And that's another problem I had, and I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but it's the perfect time to mention this. I mentioned this on my streams so far, the last couple, is that I think one of the problems with this movie is that the marketing completely misled us. Now, now like for some of us, like myself and others who really dove into every single TV spot, slowed down every single promo. We pretty much knew the storyline of Corey, but for a lot of people, mainstream fans who just watched the first trailer, and this is a great example of this. It was very misleading. All the marketing was Laurie versus Michael. This is an ultimate showdown movie. This is Rocky 4. This is right, Drago or whatever his name was, and
don't do it. Don't you dare compare this to Rocky 4.
No, I'm saying that's but I am comparing the expectation.
Where I draw the line. Yes,
no.
I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. That's like hollow ground. I get it.
Yeah.
But the expectation was we're going to get that kind of battle. It's going to be a showdown movie.
Yeah.
And that's what you walked. So, Bobby, you walked in expecting that, right? Because that's the only thing you saw was that first trailer.
I saw him in the first scene, and I was like, okay, this is just that guy. But then he was the main character of the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a little strange.
Man, I tell you what, we got to figure out this robot voice, man. I don't know.
Really?
We got to figure it out. I don't know.
Do you want me to head to a different part of the house? I don't know.
Or maybe just shut everything. Are you on a laptop or your phone? Phone. Maybe just shut the phone down, restart everything. Because, sometimes I find if you just restart something, it usually fixes it. Because it was working fine earlier before we went live. You sounded great. So let's just try that. Why don't you shut everything down? Because it is really, it's really hard to get past it.
I'll be back. I'm going to head downstairs too. Maybe it's the connection.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, worth a shot. Sounds good.
Well,
we'll continue when you get back. Thanks, Bobby. All right.
See you shortly.
No worries. All right. All right. So the marketing, I felt, and I've been saying that the marketing I felt really misled people. And a lot of people are going to be ticked off just because of that alone, going in to see the movie. But we'll talk more about some of that stuff in a little bit. Marcus, let's get to you, my friend. Now, how many times have you seen it? And initial right now? What are your feelings overall?
I've seen it twice, and when I got done with the movie initially, I sat there and I said, okay, they did something different. But then as it processed, and then I went, because I already had my tickets booked, you know what I mean, for the theater. So then I was like, I'm not going to, go against family time and stuff. But then when I even watched it in the theater, it's not for me. Like it's like Michael said, like the first 40 minutes, it's like, okay, it has you invested. It has you invested. And then it gets to certain elements that obviously we're going to dig into that I just like, no, especially in terms of Michael. So overall, I'm really not feeling this movie. I feel like, especially to cap off a trilogy, especially what we built up in Halloween Kills, especially with the mythology of Michael, I just feel like they really, it's like Brad Dourif said in Zombies Halloween 2 when he's talking about the story of Kapaloo. He missed the barn. He missed the barn completely. You know what I mean? And stuff like, and that's just not fair with this movie.
Yeah, man. I get it. All right, Bob, I'm anxious to hear your thoughts. We haven't talked about it before to this very moment. So, tell us, Bob, how many times have you seen it, and what are your feelings about the movie overall?
I've seen it 3 times so far. Once in theaters and twice on Peacock. And each time, like the first time it was on Peacock, I thought, okay, they tried something new. Let me just process it. Maybe I'm just not comprehending this whole story arc. Got to go see it in theaters. Same thing. It just made no sense. Then the third time, I'm like, you know what? I've never said this about a modern horror film. I'm more disappointed in this for them taking away the mythology of Michael and ruining this for me. This wasn't even close to a Halloween film. This was even worse to me than Resurrection.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, I know that'll bug people, but this, to me, I get more enjoyment out of Resurrection.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh.
All right. Faye, that's fair, man. I like the initial, where we're at. It's where we're just kind of. That's why I titled this stream "A Closer Look" because we're going to take that closer look. We've all in assessing this. And speaking of assessing things, Bobby, let's hear you talk, man. Let's get our fingers crossed.
I restarted my phone, went downstairs.
Yes, beautiful.
Better?
It's beautiful.
Okay, so I think
the
I
robot has
out.
been exercised. It's gone. Yeah. It's been moved out.
I think I figured it out. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb so the notifications wouldn't go crazy. But for some reason, it was on Do Not Disturb driving, and I think that must have been it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it was on that.
Hey, man.
Yeah. I'm not in my car, clearly.
Great, you clearly. Great job, man. That fixed it, buddy.
All right.
Now you sound great. Yes, now let's try it again where we can really hear and focus on what you're saying.
All righty. So I didn't hear most of Marcus's. I heard Bob's at the end when she said it was worse than Resurrection, which is crazy to me. But you're not far off. I kind of agree. But I just felt like I was let down. Okay. I've tried to say this 3 times already. The Corey character came out of nowhere to me. They made Michael look weak. I'm sorry. At the end of Halloween Kills, he wasn't that weak. That whole Allison and Corey thing, it was just like, it felt like a love story instead of a horror film. Like, and I get why you're trying to do that to appeal to other people, but it just wasn't for me. And then it was slow the first hour. Then it picked up a little, but it was like, this is the worst of the David Gordon Green films to me. I don't know if I would put it behind Resurrection. It might be worse than Curse, but it's one of the worst Halloween films I've seen, for sure. And I was so let down after I left. I was like, come on, man! I waited for 4 years for this.
Yeah, I know. I share the sentiment of you guys. In a lot of ways, I think for me, it comes down to, and I said this since Thursday night, right after I watched it the first time I went live, and I still feel the same. I've seen the movie 4 times now. I just finished watching it again before we went live, so I got 4 times in. I'm going to watch it tonight. Which, by the way, have to mention this again really quickly, just because it kind of fits that where I'm talking about. Tonight, guys, I hope you will all be back for a watch party of ends. We're doing a live watch party right here on the channel, 10 o'clock tonight. I know it says 10:15, but it's 10 o'clock. If you just go to, I don't know why I put 10:15 there. It's probably 4 in the morning, and I was like trying to get my thumbnail done. But if you will, if you just go to the stream, it's on the channel right now, you'll see it. Just go there and click notify me, and it will tell you 30 minutes ahead of time at 9:30 that we're going to go live. But it's tonight, guys. In Halloween Fest, we've been doing it for 5 weeks, Night Watch Zone and myself, and it is coming to a close, the final watch party together. Not forever, just for Halloween Fest. So tonight, 10 o'clock, I hope you'll all be here for Halloween Ends. We're going to go out with a bang, and we'll be giving commentary. So Night, myself, Coriander from the Night Watch Zone, and Katie from Popping the Popcorn, we will be commenting and giving commentary as we watch the movie. And you guys can give your commentary in the chat, and it'll be a fun time. So be sure you guys come tonight. And Carrie, I know you're here. I'm not sure how much you were able to moderate, or Katie, but if one of you were able to please put the link to the watch party in the chat, I would greatly appreciate that. So you guys can just click it and be done, ready to go. And smash the thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind while you're there too. And how about hitting it on this stream? Where are we at? We're at 32 likes with 45 people. Guys, we got a gap to close. Let's do this thing now. We're trying to get to like 75 likes on this live stream. We're at 32. So if you guys would please, if you have not done so, and I know that like 15 of you have not, if you would smash it right now, it takes less than 2 seconds, and you're going to help this stream get to more people right now on YouTube. They will find it. It'll get pushed out to recommended to right now as we're live, because the algorithm loves the thumbs up button. They love it. It loves it. So if you will do that for us right now, we would greatly appreciate it. And show my guests you appreciate all 4 of them making their time to come and spend it with you guys and with me. So I really appreciate that. All right. So I've seen it 4 times, and I will say it. I'll say it like this. I believe this is a tale of 2 movies, and I felt like overall I was watching 2 different films put together. I felt like I was watching a love story, a tragic love story drama, and I felt like I was watching what was trying to be a smashed in, tacked on, really quick ending to this trilogy. Oh, by the way, we got to finish the trilogy after we get through the love story.
Yeah.
And so we better do something with Myers, because that's what we said we were going to do. Now, having said that, and I will tell you something else, and I mentioned this before, but if you guys noticed the font, I mean, the first thing I noticed was when the opening after the Universal logo, we see blue, funky looking font. I've never said that. I'm like, this is not normal in the trilogy. And then it dawned on me what this was. This was the exact same font and color of Season of the Witch. And I said, uh-oh. Yeah. If you go back and watch the replay, it's the exact same font and color as of Halloween 3. And I said, okay. Now, here's the thing. First thing I thought of was, oh my gosh, are we actually going to have the radio tower, what we've been talking about? Are we getting the silver shamrock? Is that what's going to happen here? For just a second. And then the other part of me, though, said, what this is really meaning to me, he's telling us this is different. This movie is not like the others, which is what he's been telling us, guys, in interviews. So is Nick Castle. So is James Jude Courtney. So is Christopher Nelson. They've all been telling us for months now, hey, guys, this movie is different. It's not like the others. It's got a different feel. It's not going to be what a normal Halloween movie. So they kind of have warned us. If we've listened, they've been telling us this. But it's like you never really want to believe it until you see it, right? But here's the thing. I really felt like when I saw the font was Halloween 3, I said, okay, he's telling us non-verbally that this is going to be different, and boy, was it different. And it really felt like either one of two things to me: the beginning of a new trilogy. Like, this is the way you start a new story. A new character is introduced, and Corey could have been the focal point of a new trilogy. They could have stretched him out over 3 movies and really been the new protagonist or antagonist. He could have been the new Michael Myers, new shape, easily for a new trilogy. Because you don't introduce a new character, a new lead character in the final act of a trilogy. That just, I've told y'all that for a while. That made me nervous that they were doing that. But they did that. And then sure enough, it was like its own brand new beginning, not ending, but a beginning. And I thought that was an odd choice because I'm like, none of us are here for Corey. We don't know this guy. I mean, we're all here for a final conclusion to these first 2 movies, which I really enjoyed. The first 2 movies.
Agreed.
So my overall thoughts were this was 2 movies mashed together. There's 4 writers here of this film. So, the studio added these other 2 writers. Sorry, I don't have their names in front of me right now. And I wonder how much of this was changed. Also, remember this: the original version that David Gordon Green wanted to do pre-virus time this was supposed to happen on Halloween night. These were all supposed to be the same night. So this movie could have ended like at sunrise.
Yeah.
I could have seen like this could have been. That's what the original plan was. And then this thing hit. Everything got locked down. And during this lockdown period, you know what they say? Sometimes you heard the phrase idle hands are the tool of the devil. Well, let me tell you something. Sometimes when you have too much time on your hands, you start overthinking things. You start thinking, well, maybe we can do this and do this and do this. And then the studio says, you know what? No, we're going to bring in 2 writers to help you. And then the script gets completely changed. This is nothing like what it was going to originally be. And then we have this whole new thing. So anyway, just keep that in mind. What could have been, right? What could have been? Like if Sydney had been in Scream 6 coming up, we would have gotten the A-list script, what could have been. And now we're getting the B script because she's not there. So we already know it's been altered. All right, sorry, I'm really ranting. So let me get back to my guest. All right, let's keep it moving. So that's the high level, guys. I will say this one last thing. I have to say this. I have to say it now, or I'll forget later. Is if this movie had been branded as an anthology movie, like from the X-Files, from the files of Police Squad, from the files of Haddonfield, or just call it Haddonfield. I don't care. I think it would have been a pretty decent movie. The story of Corey, I didn't really have a problem with if it was what I was expecting, if it was its own movie. The problem I have with this story is that has nothing to do with concluding this trilogy. It's a new character with his issues, his bully problems, his revenge on his bullies. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Essentially. And then there's 10 minutes of Michael Myers. And that closes out the movie. Anyway, all right, guys. I think we're all very similar in our assessment of the movie overall. Very similar, varying degrees maybe, but similar. So, Michael, let's start with you now. Let's start talking details. All right, tell me what you thought about the opening of this movie, and which I do think was pretty darn good. If you would ask me, I thought the opening was not bad. Michael, tell us what do you think of the opening and this Corey introduction, and how did you feel things were going here with this story? Let's say the first half.
So, are you talking about the first time I watched it, or looking back? Because those are 2 totally different.
No. How you feel right now?
Yeah.
No. How you feel now? Yeah, looking back.
Right now, it's like, why? Why now?
Okay.
Why are we being introduced to a new story at the end of a trilogy? This is supposed to be a wrap up of what we know already. Okay. I have so many problems with the way that they did that. And it's not just with Corey. I think the actor did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
You really can't blame actors for the script that they're given. And I feel like the actor, I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names,
It's
period.
Rowan Campbell, I believe. Rowan Campbell.
Well,
Yeah, Rohan Campbell or something.
Rohan
right.
Campbell. Yeah.
He did a great job. I'll still keep calling him Corey. I'm sorry. I'll probably
That's
call him
okay.
Corey in the next movie that he's into. But, you know, that actor, he did a good job, you know, portraying the script that he was given. And, you know, I can't hate him for that. But why
Mhm.
now? You have
Yeah.
so many open storylines at this point. And I don't want to get ahead of the conversation, but there are so many storylines that just never got addressed, or if they did, they were given a cookie cutter little ending. And
Oh, yeah.
why? and I hate to keep going back to that. You know, I could sit here and talk for 40 minutes straight about, you know, how I feel about this movie with there, you know, being so many guests, and there's 5 of us on this panel. I don't want to hog screen time, but good God, you guys, like what happened to the characters that we knew? That's why I wanted to watch this movie. And you want to throw in a new guy again. You know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad story, but the biggest question out of all of that is why now? Why now give us these details when this could have been something in Halloween 2018? This could have been something in Halloween Kills that you're, you know, flashed over to, and maybe you really don't understand why they're showing it to you at that point. And then maybe Ends brings it in to say, this is why we showed you this. At least there would be some continuation and some continuity to this story. Like I really hated that about this movie. Now on first time watch, it's like, okay, here we go. This isn't bad, but we're going to get into it. This isn't, you know, too terrible, but we're going to get into it soon. And it's just, I felt that way all the way up until the end. And none of the big questions I had were answered. And if they were answered, it was a very cookie cutter way of closing out a story that I was truly invested in.
Yep. True. Good points. Real quick, guys, before we go any further, a couple of super chats have come through. So I want to make sure and get you guys right to the front of the line. So Jason Dyer coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jason, to get our super chat started for the stream. Awesome. It says Halloween Resurrection equals Halloween Ends. Facts. Oh. All right, Jason.
That is so tough.
Jason is feeling it, man. He's feeling what Bob's feeling over there. All right, man. Fair enough, Jason. Thank you for being here. I'm really glad you're here, and thanks for your super chat. Much appreciated. And also, Denisha's coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much this morning. Says, hi, Craven. Hope you're enjoying Saturday morning. I'm here getting my feet done today. Oh, nice. You're getting your feet done watching the stream. Now, that is both pampering. That is pampering all the way around, right? Pampering physically, pampering mentally with the stream and stimulating your mind. And hopefully this conversation is also giving you the warm and fuzzies. So, Denisha, you're all right, as Knight would say. Good. Thank you so much for that. And you know what? For you guys, for Jason and Denisha's super chats, it's time to play you guys a clip. One of my newer clips just got uploaded for this weekend. And you know, I did this the other day, and I have to do it again because remember the hobo, the homeless man that lived outside the sewer, which strangely enough, Michael never kills him, which I thought was odd as well. But whatever, he didn't kill Corey either, so I guess maybe not. But you got the hobo out there, and you know, we speculated about like who that might be. Remember, we thought Mick Castle might be the guy, and we weren't sure what his cameo was going to be. Which his cameo was cool. But speaking of that, this was kind of the inspiration for this clip. So for you guys super chats, here we go. Crank it up.
I don't know why you think that I look like a hobo. I don't think I do, cause you know I'm not homeless. You know I'm not homeless.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wild.
Let me tell you, I got more. There are more clips where that came from. So as your super chats come in, you're gonna hear some tunes for your Saturdays, trust me. All right. Thank you guys for your super chats. Seriously, appreciate that very much. All right, Marcus. So tell me, man, the movie starts. We see this new character which we knew was coming. We knew Corey was coming. We knew it was the babysitter synopsis that was released. And it's like Universal was doing everything they could to tell us and warn us what we were getting into, especially the last 2 weeks with all the behind the scenes, all the final trailer. But no, here's another trailer.
Right.
And we're going to throw you a bonus one here on Peacock right before it comes out. So tell me, man, how do you feel about this looking back on this first hour? I'm going to say hour-ish. Before the transfer happens, before Michael locks eyes with Corey, and there's this exchange of something, whatever it is, but it's happening. They're making it very obvious it's happening.
Right.
And they also make it very obvious that it's happening at the end with Lori. And I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but just while I'm thinking of it, man, I watched it again just now, the fourth time. And I noticed something clicked for me this fourth watch. When she's in the kitchen, and we're talking spoilers, guys. I hope you guys all know this. You probably figured it out by now. But if you haven't, this is a spoiler stream, all right? We're putting it all out there. But there's that moment whenever Michael rips his hand loose from the knife when he's pinned down, and he grabs Lori, right? You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's looking, and she's looking at him. They're looking at each other, and what does she say? She says, "Do it."
Yeah.
And what happens? What begins to happen? We see. Remember, whenever Corey was in the cave with Michael, what did we see when that transfer happens? We see his life flashing in front of his eyes. You remember that? All of those sequences flashing. What happens? It starts with Lori too. It starts happening with Lori. We see her in the closet in 78. We see her all these scenes going all the way through 2018. And I'm like, oh no, it's happening to her. And then what happens? Allison runs in and she grabs Michael's arm or hand or whatever. Yeah. And before she breaks his arm in half, or maybe right after, do you remember what she told Lori? And this just jumped out to me on this last watch. She says, I'm not going to let it happen to you too.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, oh, shoot. That is exactly what's happening. And it did not click to me. It really didn't register until this last watch. She's like, well, what do you mean by that? That means what happened to Corey. That transfer that was happening right then. She interrupted the exchange.
Yep.
And I said, oh man, no, now it's they're making this so obviously clear that there is more than humanity. There is an element here. I mean, it's ridiculous to deny it. It's confirmed in the cave. It's confirmed with Lori at the end. And then one last thing. I am ranting, dude. You think I hadn't talked about the movie? Yeah, I know, but still. But last thing, and there's the alternate ending that we never saw that was cut. The test screening ending that was cut out because it got poor reception. It further proves a supernatural element because the ending of the test screen ending that we didn't get was which is where I think we started to get the start of it here as he's grabbing her. The transfer's happening, and even when he grabs her, he turns his head. Did you notice this? He turns his head to look at her. They're showing us him looking up at her, and she's looking, and she says, "Do it." And then he starts to do it. Whatever this is, it's happening. Allison interrupts it. So the ending that we were originally going to get was that Michael dies, as he did, but that evil fully went into her. Transfer happened just like Corey, and Lori leaves Haddonfield, and she goes off to live in isolation, locking herself up in a house by herself because she's containing herself because she knows that the evil is in her and she doesn't want to hurt anyone. She lives out back in isolation. And that's how the movie ended. It would have ended with Lori having the very evil in her that she has been fighting against for 40 years. It would have been a dark ending to this movie. Yeah. Very dark. Yeah. But I have to say, I actually kind of would have liked that. I mean, maybe I'm probably in the minority on that. But So anyway, guys, I just want to emphasize this because that to me seals the deal that there's a supernatural. Because if there's not a supernatural transfer, she's not moving off into isolation to hide herself away from the public because she's afraid to hurt people. That's no. She knows now it's in her. All right. So I just want to get that all out front. I don't know if you guys were aware of that alternate ending. That was the test screening for that was low, and so they changed the ending. And that entire ending we got was tacked on. It was reshoots. That was a reshot ending. If you feel like it feels tacked on, it was. That was a tacked on ending that they did in reshoots. That's 2 weeks of reshoots for the ending. Which also you notice who's missing from the ending procession is Lindsay. And I think because they reshot it and Lindsay couldn't do it. Kyle Richards couldn't do it. So anyway, guys, woo, I'm going to stop talking, bro. I'm like, I got on a rant. My adrenaline started pumping. And I'm just like, I think it's because I just watched it a fourth time. And it's like really fresh again. Like, oh my gosh. This thing. Anyway. So where am I at? Help me out. Marcus, I think it's your turn, right?
With the first hour of the movie, that's what you had.
Please continue.
Yeah,
I thought the beginning was pretty I liked the beginning. I didn't expect that, to happen. I knew that he was obviously the kid was gonna die. I didn't expect him to die in that fashion, and it was sad and stuff like that. It was graphic. It was brutal. You know what I mean? So for introducing a new character in his story, I thought that was a good way to start. But then you get this fast pace of incidents to where he's just thrust into Lori's path, in my opinion, with the whole store scene and the bullies, and then she takes him to the hospital, gets fixed, and and what they showed us before, Corey didn't even he wasn't even like looking at Allison like that at first. She looked at him like that. You know what I mean? And stuff. So I thought that was interesting. But then I'm just sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. They're trying to tell his story. But what about Allison's story, really? What about Hawkins' story? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, if you would have introduced this character, like you said on yesterday's stream with Jake, had they maybe made that Cameron, it would have been a little bit more acceptable because he was in the first movie.
That's right.
But Corey's a brand new character, and then we're just left wondering for the first hour of the movie. Okay, well, we know Michael's in the sewers because they hinted at it, in the first hour of the movie. But like, when are we going to see him? You know what I mean? So it just really, really dragged until it got to the point where it was trying to prove with Corey about the transfer. Like, I get it. You're trying to, tell this little love story between him and Allison. But another thing I didn't like about it, it's like it happened like so quickly. Like it was just like nothing to it. You know what I mean? And stuff. And what bothered me the most, especially with Allison's character, like, and I get it. You know what I mean? You don't want to look at somebody based on the way, you don't want to judge somebody either off of their past or from what people say.
Right.
But given what you have been through, the fact that he was accused of murder and he did, he was accidental. You know what I mean? Just the fact. And then when your grandma starts to tell you like she's feeling the same things that she felt back then, I just felt like for somebody who has went through what they went through, they just completely made her oblivious and like carefree. And I get it. She wants to move on with her life. She's trying to, start a new life. But it just, I don't know. The whole first hour of the movie, I felt like they could have did so much more excluding Corey's character and just building on what they did for Halloween Kills in terms of Allison and Hawkins, especially. Like, why did we get all that with Hawkins if he wasn't going to capitalize on it in this movie?
That's kind of what I was talking about when I was like, why?
That was for me one of the biggest disappointments was the absolute dropping the ball with Hawkins because they did so much foreshadowing and setup and kills. It was like they were making this out to be, he's going to get a redemption arc. They're gonna make it right in ends. We're gonna get to see Hawkins finally come in, get that to basically do what he couldn't do 40 years ago or didn't do. And I've told you guys many times, if they didn't do that, it was a huge missed opportunity, and it would be disappointing. Hawkins was in the movie for maybe 5 minutes at best, at most. And at most 5 minutes, maybe not even 5. I had to go back and actually clock it. Maybe 5 minutes. But and when he was in there, he was great, but there was no substance to any of it. There was no point other than just being there. And I guess he was at the end. There was a little bit because, and you could tell how much he cares about Lori, even in the grocery store. You know, you could tell. And of course, I'm sitting there thinking, you ever seen two people that should be together, and you know it, and like everyone knows it, but they just don't, and they even know it, but they don't act on it. It's like, guys, just go. You guys are meant for each other. Just you understand each other. This is right. Anyway, I think maybe that's where it will go eventually, because the way when they sat down the steps, that was a sweet moment. But my thing is, what about Hawkins though, man? It would have been so great to see him have a lot more screen time. I mean, he's a great actor. Why, really, wouldn't it have been great to see him in the movie for like maybe 30 minutes at least? He didn't have to be a lead, but get him in there like a supporting character, not just a sideline character.
I mean, you can't give Hawkins more screen time than Michael, and Michael only had like, what, 12 minutes?
I think it was like 12 or 13 minutes.
He had that much?
Right.
I thought it was a lot less. Michael.
No. Go ahead, Bob.
No, I was just saying, yeah, Bobby, that's about the length he was in. It was only about like 10 to 12 minutes.
I thought it was 5.
I think Eric of Buried Entertainment actually did the math on it, and it was 3 minutes, and then in the first act, or in the first half of the movie, and it was 10 minutes in the second half. So it was like 13 minutes and 30 seconds and an hour and 51-minute movie. And this is the trilogy ending for a Michael Myers Halloween movie. Anyway, but yeah, I know it's very frustrating. But I just was disappointed that where's Lindsay? Why wasn't she in the fight? Why wasn't Lindsay out there busting heads, helping Lori at the end? And anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Bob, we haven't heard from you in a while, dude. Let me ask you, man, what did you think about Corey, the first half of this movie, before we get into the evil transferring? What did you think about your thoughts on that, on Corey?
Corey as a character made really no sense. The opening tried to establish him, which it kind of worked, but with the interview pre-hand where Jamie Lee Curtis was saying this was a parent's worst nightmare, ruined that alone, because to me, and I was saying this before, it might be something where a prank went wrong. It kind of was a prank that went wrong. The kid thought it would be funny to lock him in, and he's standing by the door, and Corey only has 2 options of getting out: stab through the door, which then you stab in the kid, or kick it out and you make him fall like 20 flights of stairs. Like,
right?
I'm sorry. While yes, that's a parent's worst nightmare, the kid had it coming. You're trying to make me sympathetic towards the kid. And this is messed up on my part, but it kind of made me laugh. Like, you're trying to frame Corey as this type of killer already. This was so accidental, it's not even funny. And the parents were pretty much right there. I know they would have heard, "Oh, I'm going to kill you, Jeremy," but come on. The opening, when you look back, retrospect, makes no sense to making the kid sympathetic to dying, in my opinion. And then trying to thrust this love story upon out of nowhere. Okay, they're going to try to force Allison to move on, but I have to agree with Marcus on this. Why not have just used oh, great. Now I forget his name. Cameron. In this, because it would have made far more sense. He already was established. Like, instead of killing him, you could have just built this up with Cameron, and it would have made more sense, because they already had an established relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And obviously at that point, you could say she's going to be oblivious to it because she knows Cameron. She really doesn't know Corey in this, so she can't. How can you be that oblivious? I'm sorry. I just can't buy it. And just going back, thinking about it now, I'm hating it even more. Like, now I'm getting frustrated with they had to go hire 2 more writers.
Yep. 2 more writers.
Less is more, people. Remember this. This isn't all on David Gordon Green. This is on the studio
No.
for hiring 2 more writers.
Yeah,
I can't even blame him on this. Because how
Mm-hmm.
much control at that point did he have when the studio hired these 2 people?
That's right. That's right. And that's a good point to bring up, because David Gordon Green is getting slaughtered right now. And I just say it like this. As Bob's made a good point, we don't know how much of this was taken out of his hands.
Right.
There was a lot, because we know the studio hired these writers. He didn't. The studio was looking at stuff like, we're not happy with this, whatever it was. So there's 4 people in the writing room, and that, you know what? Sometimes, guys, you got 4 opinions, and 4 people, all creative, thinking they've got the right ideas. I mean, I think this movie suffers from some of that. I don't know. I think just keep it in mind before we, me, myself included, before we start to pull the axe out on DGG, let's just remember that it wasn't solely written by him. This not
Right.
There's other people, and there's 3 other people, and 2 of them that weren't on his team. Him and McBride are together.
Right.
Like, they do their things. But these other 2 were outsiders of the creative team that were not on the first 2 movies. Just so this is let's at least give him a little bit of a grain of salt there to some degree. But at the end of the day, though,
real quick, Stephen, do you think
Mhm.
that for all of you, do you guys think that Jamie Lee Curtis had a lot more creative input into the writing for this movie?
Because of the ending, yes. Because of the ending, I'd have to say yes.
and she admitted that. She said that she has creative, she's executive producer. I have creative input, but she did say this week I found an interview that she did and I put it in a video where she says the only creative input onto the narrative of the story was towards the end of the movie.
Okay.
She said, but nothing else. So she's claiming the only thing that she inserted in and they changed for her was near the end of the movie, which for all we know, it could have been the end of the movie. Who knows?
Right.
But that's what she's claiming, right? But, I've heard there was a lot of issues behind the scenes with her. So
Really?
And I have a feeling if Jamie Lee goes and says, no, it needs to be this way. This is not going to be what you do. This is not Lori. You're not doing this to Lori. I think they probably would have caved in and done it. I mean, I really do.
Right.
So, and she's a producer. I mean, she's a friggin' producer. She's got some power to do that.
She does.
She does.
Yeah.
So there's so many factors involved, but let's remember this was a group effort in this writing. This was a lot of hands in the pot that made or a lot of pins to the paper, a lot of keystrokes to the computer. All right, I'll stop. A lot of people involved. All right, so I will say this before we get to Bobby. I'm so disappointed in the legacy characters. I'm happy that they lived, but let's be honest. Couldn't this movie might have been better if maybe we lost Lindsay? Not that I wanted it, but the weight of can you imagine if the tragedy of Hawkins had been killed in a very tragic way?
Right.
It would have just made the angst even higher against Michael, or Lord forbid, Corey. I would have been now if Corey. You know what? I'm not going to hypothesize on that. And I'm getting upset if something didn't happen. If Corey had killed one of the legacy characters, I would be livid. Like, how dare you?
So would that have been Hawkins' 6 minutes of runtime that he got killed, or where is he going to get killed in there? At minute 6?
Minute 6.
Right.
The opening kill.
Right.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, all right, but I'll stop talking hypotheticals because it is what it is now. It's over. Bobby, now tell us, man, your thoughts on Corey, the initial introduction, and Corey and Bobby, guys, has a different respect. A lot of people coming in and out of the chat because you didn't even know that was coming. So I really want to hear this. So just tell us what you went through mentally.
So when I first saw this guy, I thought he was going to be the opening kill. I really did. I was like, okay, because they set it up there. the curtains were moving and all that, and I'm like, okay, somebody's got to do this. It's got to be him. But then he survived that. The kid died. I think his name was Jeremy. And I'm like Corey Cunningham. I'm like, okay. So it kind of sounds like Michael Myers, CCMM. I kind of put that together in the middle of the movie. And I was like, okay. But I was like, and then I'm first of all, who has that many stairs in their house? Like,
it's like three stories, right? Like at least three stories.
I was like, all right, first of all, that. And it's like
you're in a hotel. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then it was like, okay. And then it was a cool opening scene. I'm not going to lie. It was something new. But I was just like I said, I was like, okay, we'll see this guy for 5 minutes, 7 minutes. And then that's it. But no, he just kept coming back. And like Marcus said, it was interesting that Allison was going after him and he wasn't really playing ball. What a guy he is. For saying no to her.
Right.
It's like, all right. Then it was just like, I don't know. Like Marcus said also, and maybe somebody else said it. It would have been much better with Cameron. Cameron, I wanted to survive Halloween Kills. Now, obviously, he was killed off in a very brutal way. I watched it again Thursday, and I was like,
"Oh man!"
I was like, "Oh, Michael got him." But it would have made more sense. It would have saved some time, and it would have been like, "Okay, we understand why he's, not right." And it would have made much more sense. But I don't know. But I will say this: Craven gave me permission to do this off the stream. My first YouTube video comes out tonight, guys.
Yay!
6 months in the making. I do a full review on the movie. There's a special announcement in there at the end. 7:00 it drops tonight, and Bobby's Breakdowns is the name. Go subscribe, and we're starting this journey.
Absolutely, and guys, by the way, great segue, Bobby. We're very excited to see your first video. That's awesome, man. Your journey starts today, October 15th. And also, guys, while we're talking about subscribing, everyone here, please subscribe to all of my guest channels. We've got Michael from Movies and Beyond. I Shot Him 6 Times, Hunting for Entertainment, Bobby's Breakdown. Please, I have links to their channels in the description right now. So if you go there, you'll see a link. Just click it or copy and paste it, whichever, and you'll be able to subscribe. They are great content creators. They're great supporters of the channel, and they're great friends. Great. They're just awesome people, and you're going to enjoy what they do. So please subscribe to their channels. Show them that courtesy, and you know what? You're going to love it. You're going to get a great return on your investment by clicking subscribe when you watch their content. All right. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure you smash the thumbs up button real quick while you're here now. I know a lot of new folks are coming in and out, so I like to bring it up every now and then. If you are new and have not hit the button, please do. It helps the stream out, and more people will find us right now as we're talking if you help us with the thumbs up as high as we can get it. We're at 56 right now, so we are shooting for at least 75 right now. That's our current goal. So we're not that far away, so we'd appreciate your help to get there. All right? Excellent. Bobby, anything else you'd like to share on the Corey front before we go to the next character?
I'll say it. I don't think he was needed. The actor did great. I'm not blaming him, but I just don't like. It was the end to a trilogy. If you wanted to plant the seeds in 18 or Kills, fine, but there was no seeds planted. Nobody knew who this guy was, as far as I can remember.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
This is brand new.
No.
Yeah, and it's like, is this Halloween Ends or Corey Begins? Like,
I like
that's
that.
what I said last night in the theater. Everyone was laughing, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's what I thought of. I'm like, I just didn't think it was needed, and then I don't know. Yeah, that's just my opinion. If you disagree with me and you loved Corey, good for you.
Right. No, I get it, man. I get it totally. Yeah. And I'm sure there were many people that were just exactly in your spot. that had no idea this was coming
Oh,
because the
cool.
trailers didn't tell him he was coming. The trailers
Yeah.
told us it was Michael and Lori's showdown movie. So I
Yeah.
guarantee you there's a lot of people that were in shock last night. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Are we in the right cinema? Like, check your ticket stub.
So actually, in the beginning, when I don't remember what song was playing when the opening credits happened.
Yeah. I don't know the name of
Anybody
it.
can remember?
I can't remember the name of it.
It certainly wasn't horror music. And I looked to my friends. I'm like, are we in the right theater? Because I thought I walked into the wrong theater. And then I heard Haddonfield, and I was like, okay, we're in the right spot, but what is this?
Yes.
So off the bat, I was like, huh?
Right? Oh, yeah. I was ready for John Carpenter's score. I'm like, because the first two openings, Kills and 18, had the great synth openings. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. What's it going to be? I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Different. But again, it's a different movie. That's the whole point. You got the different opening, different music. You got the Halloween 3 font. David's saying this is different. Get ready. You're going to take a different. And again, if this was an anthology film, if this was a movie that was a standalone movie on its own, I think it's not that bad of a film. It's really not to me. And I would have been like, okay, it's like an anthology, but Michael's in there, but he's not really the focus anymore. He's, it's just its own story. I would have enjoyed it more, but it just seemed like everything moved fast. Like they, except for the first hour and 10 minutes, like the whole Corey and Allison, they really slowed down, took their time, really developed this thing out. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, we got to hurry up and get Michael out here because that's what this is supposed to be. And it felt really quick. And I have to say this too. And Michael, I want to ask you about this now. And I know I'm jumping around, but that's all right. We're gonna flow with stuff. So we're gonna get out of sequence here a little bit. The final battle with Michael, I felt was very fast. It felt like it should have been twice the length that it was to me. And I'm like, okay, you build up and then it's over in literally like 5 minutes or less. The whole thing's over in the kitchen. How did you feel about that, man? When we finally do get Michael showing up in Lori's house, finally at the hour and 40-minute mark or whatever, how do you feel? Were you satisfied, I guess, is with the final battle with her or not?
Can we please not skip over the fact that Michael was beaten up on the playground and got his lunch money stolen by a kid who got beat up at a gas station by a senior in high school? I can't pass that up, dude. I cannot pass that up.
Oh, no, we're going to get
beaten up on the playground by a kid who was beaten up in front of a gas station by a high school kid.
That's right.
He was pinned down like an older brother, slapping his little brother in the face. He took what was most precious to Michael and walked out with it. Like, I have been holding this in for the last hour and 15 minutes. Like, we cannot pass that up for the ending that was just as frustrating.
Now, I will say one thing, Michael, one caveat to that. And believe me, I'm not defending it because I sympathize with you. I agree. But the only thing that's different in those two scenes is that when he's beat up by those bullies at the gas station, that was before the evil had transferred into him from Michael. That's the only thing that's different. Now, when he went back to the sewer and he took the mask, which I don't care what world you live in, that's not happening. But it happened. It's not happening. But it did happen in the movie. But he had that evil, whatever that was from Michael, was in him. But I still hear you. That's even having that in him. You're not going to, this is the master. This is the master. You're not going to, the pupil's not going to go and treat him and punk him like that. That's the scene I have the biggest problem with in the whole movie.
I mean, not only that, their little wrestling match looked like two uncoordinated kids wrestling in the backyard.
Yes, it did.
That's what it looked like to me. Like, it wasn't even a fight. Like, it was
grabbing and throwing.
I'm stronger. Down. No, it was the most horrible, awkward thing I've ever seen, other than Busta Rhymes crane kicking him out of the window.
Trick or treat, mother.
Oh my God! Like, I was sitting there screaming at the TV, like, "Is this really happening? Is this really happening? You've got to be freaking kidding me! You are gonna take what's most precious to one of the greatest horror icons You're going to make him look so weak in his own movie, his own finale of a movie.
True.
Yep.
The amount of issues that I have with that, I can't even put into words because it's so frustrating. Now, I can only imagine for I Shot Him 6 times. Like, that is his guy. Like, you can tell. Like,
he's
look,
chomping at the bit right now.
I love Michael. You can tell. I love Michael. But if they did that to Jason, I probably would not even be on this stream. Like, I would be gone for at least a month before I could talk about this. Like, the level of disrespect. Like, it is a slap in the face to not only Halloween fans, but to James Jude Courtney, who has played the hell out of this character.
Brilliantly,
like, he is, to me, tied with Nick Castle amongst the greatest of people to ever don that mask. And the amount of disrespect that was put on that is one of the things that frustrates me so much. And I'm not going to rant and rave about it. I just don't want to pass that up when we talk about the abysmal ending that we got to an otherwise very good trilogy. Like, their final scene is supposed to be the grand finale. That is supposed to be how everything ties together. That is supposed to be epic, and it is supposed to be rememberable. This, if I have to put a word on this, I'd have to say it's forgettable. Like, it's not something I'm going to think about in a couple of months from now.
I wish I could forget it.
Yeah, and I mean, you will, because there's nothing worth remembering about what we saw. It's literally, she hides in a closet, the microwave goes off, she hits him with a fire extinguisher, and he ends up getting nailed down with some knives that he obviously can just rip his hands out of. And
I know.
He's weak. He's feeble. And how can you go from a guy that was jumped by 13 people and destroyed them all, kills, it's frustrating. And it reminds me of when I was a kid, when my father would discipline me and say, not mad, I'm just disappointed. And it that hurts worse. You know what I mean? That hurts worse than being fired up and angry the whole time. And at the end of the day, like, I was joking around behind stage, like, I picked the coffee cup perfect for it. Like, what did you think of it? It's like, at the end of the day. So realistically, at the end, I was very disappointed, and I keep using that word, but that's the only word I can really use to describe what we saw.
Another word I use for Michael, and that's a great point, Michael. You, Michael, not Michael Myers. The another word is emasculated. They emasculated Myers in this movie, and they made him weak and a shell of himself. And Marcus, I know, man, you've been so patient on this, because this is, and I think probably all of us, this is maybe our biggest soapbox of all of us on the panel, and maybe in the chat, is the treatment of Michael Myers. So Marcus, tell me, and I know we're jumping way ahead to the ending here. I probably should have held back on that for a little bit and worked our way there, but whatever. We're going to get back to other stuff too. But tell me, my friend, the ending with Lori, were you satisfied with the kitchen scene? Did you feel like that final battle really was the final epic battle you wanted? And the treatment of Myers?
Nah,
how do you feel?
Absolutely not. Like, that scene felt so rushed, obviously because, what just happened with Corey and stuff. And then, she's leaning up against the wall, and then she obviously hears Michael come in and the commotion in the other room. And it just felt tacked on together. It did not feel well executed at all. It just felt like, oh, you know what? Michael's here, and it was like she was oblivious to the fact that Corey was wearing his mask. And that's what I didn't like about it, because they try to keep, the narrative that, oh, she doesn't expect Michael coming. How can you not, when this young man is wearing the mask? You know what I mean? That automatically has to tell you something like, okay, he ran into Michael, especially when you say, I see Michael in Corey. So how else would he get the mask? And then just the whole fight scene in general, like it was not epic. 2018's fight scene was far and beyond way better. Way better. You know, that's how you do a fight scene.
Yeah.
It's like we said, they had this movie, they had this whole other story, and then it's just like, oh yeah, Michael Myers. You know what? Yeah, we forgot about him. So let's hurry up and do this, get through this, and let's give the definitive ending that I think a lot of us kind of saw coming and are not mad about. We're satisfied with the definitiveness, but I think what the issue is that the build up to that was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, you know, especially with how they did the character. So that ending scene was, and you can tell it was re-edited, especially from the scenes we got in the trailer and all that stuff. It was re-edited. It was a hot mess. They just tacked whatever they could on, and it didn't stick the landing by any means. You know, it didn't. And much like Michael said, what bothered me too is like how, I mean, I get it. They try to say he was weak, and we're going to get into it here later in a little bit. They try to say he was weak, but what bothered me from what I seen, it's like they were conflicted with making him weak and making him strong at the same time in certain instances in this movie. And that was one of them. Like, he's supposed to be pinned down. If he's so weak, he shouldn't be able to rip out of the knives, but he does. So
yeah, he does. Yeah,
they fumbled the ball completely with the movie, but especially with that ending, because much like you said, Craven, their whole marketing was the final showdown. This is going to be so brutal and so epic and all this stuff, and then it's just like it just no.
It's over it's over in 3 minutes, 4 minutes,
right. Exactly.
5 minutes, so even 5, well, maybe 5, but
I think 5's even being generous.
I think I am being generous at 5. It was so quick, and like I say, to build up for an hour and 40 minutes to finally get there, and I mean that thing should have been 10, 12 minutes. I would like to have seen them running all over the house, go upstairs, go back downstairs, go out. Make it like really like this is just insane, like everyone's about to fall over dead because they're just drained. Like there's just nothing left in them from this fight. And, you know, anyway, you're right, man. I 100% agree. And I want to mention one other thing real quick before we got a super chat that just came in. Before we get there, the original cut of this film was 2 hours and 8 minutes. And they gutted out to get it to 151. So they cut out like 13, if my math's right, around 13 minutes of
7.
What is
you
it?
Said 200. You said how long?
You said 2 hours and 8 minutes, right?
2 hours and 8 minutes. It's now 151.
Yeah, 17.
17. Thank you, not 13. 17.
Yeah, 17.
17. Hey, I married an accountant to make sure we
So
got
you
the
don't have
numbers
to do
right.
the
I
math.
don't have to worry about the math.
There you go.
So she's the accountant. But anyway, thing is, 17 minutes is a ton of footage, guys. That's a substantial amount of movie that was gutted out from this film. Who knows? Maybe you would hope they wouldn't cut out final battle footage. You would hope. Because if I think that, I'll have to put up my tool bad. I'm going to get mail on here in a minute and hit my clip. But whatever they cut from, it hurt the story. I think it would have helped the story rather. I wish they would have left it in and let us see it. Just let us, slasher movies have a problem. These studios do not want to go more than 2 hours. It's like a curse. They don't want to. We got to keep it under two. And most of the time, that's okay. But this is a movie that's concluding a trilogy of a 40-year franchise, 40+ year franchise. You know what? You can do 2 hours and 8 minutes. We're not going to beat you up for that, unless it's all just really, really, really slow footage.
Craven, real quick, I don't know if there's any moderators in the chat, but somebody's spamming the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Thanks, my man.
While you're
Spammers.
taking care of the
It's
bot,
done.
just to put on to what you were saying, why cut out so much, Craven? Well, the answer is so they can come out with an extended cut, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
Sequel.
it just seems like you're doing so much damage to your up front, though. But yeah, you're probably right. Because there'll be an extended cut like there was for Kills.
Oh, if you didn't like it in the theater, maybe you'll like it with
You'll
the
watch
added
this one.
scenes.
And you know what's going to be sad is if they do that and it's really awesome. Like it fixes some of this mess. I don't know. We'll see. But real quick, before we get to Bob's thoughts on the ending and all of this we've been chatting about, Scott's coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Scott. Much appreciated, man. Says, I don't mind Corey's character, not in this timeline. Introducing and building his character arc caused legacy characters to suffer. Putting him into the third act is not a smart move on Green's part. Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree, man. It's just like we've been saying. If you create either make him Cameron or just create Corey, but create him in 2018. Let us know him, introduce us to him, let him be part of the friend group with Allison. It would not be as head scratching if we knew who this was. And actually, it would make it more tragic because we would care more about the character, right? We would actually have some investment in him to where we're like, oh, no, Corey, don't turn evil. I mean, there would have been like all that going on. But you're right, Scott. Yeah, I 100% agree. It was. I just think it's the wrong movie to put him in. It's the wrong movie. This is the third act. This is the end. And I felt like it was a beginning, a new story. This is almost what I would expect to be after this trilogy ended. Like 3 to 5 years from now, this could be the new movie. Like this could have been Corey could have been the new character that we meet. But they chose to do it now. Timing is wild. I don't get it either, Scott. Thank you for your super chat, my friend. And you guys, be sure you're sending your super chats to get to the front of the line. And for your clip, Scott, man, I tell you what, let's do this, man. Let's hit it. Here we go. Some new music for you guys.
I was surrounded by 30 dirty celebrities without makeup. Everybody looks like they just woke up. Everybody's so famous, but without makeup, I can't tell who anyone is.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with the hamburgers?
I have no idea. It makes no sense. It's like
What
totally
just happened?
random. It just happened, man. It's just kind of like, it just Corey just pops up. You just don't know why.
Right?
What happened? I don't know.
He's just there.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Josh, I
Yeah.
know you're upset, buddy, but I'm going to have to block you, bud. See ya. Sorry. No spamming. All right. So, okay. Bob, I'm sure you've got some thoughts, my friend. What about let's say hi to Amy real quick. Amy's in that chat. What's up, Amy? Welcome to the stream. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. We're at 64. We're trying to get to 75. We're only 11 away, guys. We're right there. So let's keep it going. All right, Bob, tell us, man. What about this ending? What about this final showdown?
Well, like you had alluded to earlier with Jamie Lee Curtis saying she had a lot of input in the ending, I think they had to change even how Michael was halfway through if they had to cave in for her in this final scene, which, okay, to an extent, if you want to defeat Michael, that's fine. We can have that in a good, conclusive, long battle like you had in H2O. Okay, you can have a solid battle that makes sense. And I feel she wanted a conclusive ending to Michael, and she kind of just took the risk of, well, let's just have me beat him up. And I think she kind of, and I'm not trying to insult Jamie Lee Curtis at all in this, because I know she knows the character better than anyone. But you're telling me all through 18 and Kills, Michael is portrayed as this massive behemoth. And in the matter of about, and I'm going to be generous by saying 45 minutes, you're just going to tear him apart easily like that. You went through this your whole life. You're not going to beat Michael that easily. I'm sorry, I can't buy that. And that's where if we do find out she had massive input in this, I think she kind of ruined the ending to an amazing trilogy, because we could have had a massive, incredible battle between the two of them, to where you both are at your final, like, you're both so fatigued at that point if he is supposed to be part human. And you can make a claim when he transferred to evil, maybe he lost part of that, so he's not as strong as he once was. But I'm not buying you're going to tear him up like this. And Michael being that stupid with the microwave thing when he heard something in the closet, that's not really going to distract him at that point. So I just got to say it was massive, flaming, burning doo-doo. I'm sorry. I can't appreciate the ending. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, nothing to apologize for, man. Like I say, everyone's opinions. And if listen, I want to say this too, because I know people out there that may be here that really enjoyed this movie, and they're hearing us not being too happy with these choices and thinking, dude, these people are just, man, listen, if you love the movie, that's okay. I'm actually glad you did. Trust me. Like I said the other day, the more people that love this is the better, because I want more movies. I want another Halloween movie in 3 to 5 years. So it's it's okay. And there's nothing wrong if you were here and you enjoyed this movie, you loved Corey, you love the ending, like let it fly. Don't hide it. Don't feel like you have, don't let anyone ever make you feel wrong for feeling a certain way about a subjective piece of art. All right, because that's what this is. This is art, and so I want to say, yeah, exactly. It's okay. So whether you're on the spectrum of I will never watch this movie again, or if you're on the spectrum of I will watch this movie, it's my favorite of the trilogy, I'll watch it like 10 times a day. All of that is okay. And so I just want to mention that real quick, because I never want anyone to come and feel like their view should be considered wrong. That's not the case. These are only our opinions. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's all. So I just wanted to get that out.
And that's why I was apologizing, because I don't want to make anybody that enjoyed it feel like they can't enjoy it. It's just my perspective.
That's all it is, man. I'm glad you said that, Bob. It was a good point for us to remind everyone about that. And I love you guys are being real respectful in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on things, and that's awesome that you guys are being able to share your views in a respectful manner, because that's what we do here. It's what we do. It's what we do here on this channel, in this community. All right, Bobby, tell me your thoughts now. We're thinking about the ending now. We're gonna come back to some other stuff, guys. We're not about to end it just yet. We got more to talk about, but we're just talking about the ending now because I just wanted to. So, how do you feel about it and Michael Myers in general?
44 years, and I know they don't count 44 years, but 44 years worth of movies, and we get a 5-minute fight scene. I was just like, why? And they made Michael look absolutely horrendous. Like what Michael said, he got beat up for his lunch money by Corey, and it was like, come on, man. It was like, how he was fine at the end of Halloween Kills, and I understand there's a 4-year gap. I understand Michael Myers isn't young, but to make him look completely weak and for him to get beat up just like that, it was like, and I don't know. I think the fight scene could have been much longer, like an H2O, like Bob said. And I don't know. I just felt this could have been much better. I don't know. I was let down, kind of, for sure. I mean, I'm glad the ending was pretty good. Not to the fight, but to like the general movie.
Oh yeah,
for
the
Michael,
junkyard.
But
yeah,
the junkyard, that was one of the bright spots of the movie for me, because they finally did it. But that fight scene, like Marcus said, like Michael showed up for his mask, and it was like Laurie was just like, "Oh, another day at the office. He's here again. It's Halloween." It was like you got to show like some emotion, like, "Oh, he's back." Like after 4 years too. It's not like it was the same night,
right?
Just, I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that for real quick. Yeah, just wanted to bring it. Yeah, Million says I'm not a real fan of Halloween. is what I've been hearing all weekend. See, that's not the case at all. So, Million, it's all right, man. Love the movie. Ignore that stuff. Yeah,
Ignore
that's
the
right,
haters.
man.
Ignore the
That's right.
haters.
Horror movies ain't for everyone.
No, and
No.
you know, that whole thing about being a real fan, that drives me nuts. Well,
Yeah,
if
that's
you don't like
ridiculous.
this, you're not a real fan, dude. That's nonsense, man. Just yeah. You're whether you like a particular movie in the franchise does not define whether you're a real fan or not. It's
Absolutely, like it doesn't.
it doesn't. I mean, and and the funny thing is, the people that say that only say that because you're in other words, the only real fans are the people that think like they do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if
Yep.
if you say if you don't like this movie, you're not a real fan. That means by default they like the movie. But if they don't like a movie, are they not a real fan? No, it's a double. Of course not, because it's a double standard. So
Right.
So Million, brother, love the movie, man. I'm glad you love it, man. I really do. I mean, I really mean that. I think it's awesome. And no, that's just ignore those people, man.
I didn't see the first Halloween until 2014. I hated horror movies until then. So, I'm a prime example of like, here I am now. But like I said, horror movies are not for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I get that. I was one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's right, buddy. All right. So, okay. Let's see. Where do we want to go now? Okay. So let's talk about the ending. How do you feel about because these were reshoots. These were all reshoots. They went back and filmed. The Procession and the Grinder were add-ons. So those were reshoots. They were not in the original cut. So the 2 weeks of reshoots, that's when these happened. So tell me, Michael, how do you feel about because as Bobby alluded to, it did take some cojones to actually really kill him off, because a lot of people, including myself, have said this could be either way. Is he going to die? Is he going to live? Is it going to be ambiguous? Whatever. We weren't sure. So how did you feel about the real finality of James Jude Courtney? And by the way, he was unmasked, so we know it's not an H2O scenario, which that was smart, because if they put him in there with the mask on, we'd all been saying today that wasn't him.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me, my friend, what do you think about the grinding scene?
Anytime that you look at horror movies the way that I do, it's a tough watch. Okay, I look at these slasher movies. That's Iron Man for me. That's Superman for me. They are the reason I come to see these guys. These are the guys that I root for in every movie. And to see Michael, now the effects for it were fantastic. So I do want to say that it looked really good. That
100%.
looked amazing. But to just see one of the icons, for that to happen to them, and to know that, and we have to, remember there are so many different timelines in this. I'm 99.9% sure this is not the end of Michael Myers just for this story.
Same.
I really like James Jude Courtney's portrayal of the Shape, so it was a really hard watch for me. It to see, one of these guys to be truly, without question, not walking around after this. Like, I definitely was not expecting to hear the breathing in the credits or anything. When Halloween movies end, you always expect that little hint that they're going to be back. And this left me feeling like it's over. And yeah, that it was a tough watch for me. Kind of a little emotional, not to the point to where I was in tears or anything like that, but over the last couple years, growing up in the 80s, I grew up in the 80s. I've seen a lot of my icons as a kid die through the past couple years through movies. And it's just like I'm losing them all. You know what I mean? Like, I lost Luke Skywalker. I lost Han Solo. I lost Princess Leia. I lost.
Dude.
I'm just praying to God they don't kill off Indiana Jones.
Oh,
and
no.
This next one coming up, I'm waiting for Back to the Future to come out where Marty McFly dies. You know, it's
don't say
I'm
that.
just watching all of my guys die, and I don't want to spoil a movie that just came out a couple months ago. It hasn't hit DVD video yet, so I don't want to talk about that. But I just lost another character prior to this, from the 90s, and I'm almost becoming numb to it, but that's pretty sad. I'm watching all these guys die, and with them coming out with a Friday the 13th movie soon, I'm a little nervous about that as well. But yeah, that's how I felt. The effects were great, but at the end of the day, it's like another one bites the dust, and you start looking at your timeline like, damn it, man.
Well, it's a good point, buddy. And two things I want to piggyback on. Number one, I think we should all give a round of applause to Christopher Nelson, because his practical effects were amazing in this movie.
Yeah.
So
It
I'll do it.
was
I don't
great.
care. I'll clap on
Yeah.
camera. I don't care. Christopher Nelson, brother, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Between that and the radio station, everything looked
Oh my gosh.
fantastic.
Dude, whenever the DJ got slammed down and one of his top teeth fall out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just cringed when I
Very Halloween 18 gas station attendant esque.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Oh, and the
yeah.
tongue.
We
I could
can't
barely
forget
watch
about
that.
the.
I was in shock.
Yes.
I was like, did they just do that? And I thought that was awesome. It's gonna make me sound awful, but I thought it was awesome.
Totally. It was fantastic. And so Christopher Nelson, gosh, man, top notch effects, practical effects. But the other thing, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, Michael, because, and I'm going to see what everyone else has to say. And we are going to have to start wrapping up. We're almost at 2 hours. I feel like we just started this conversation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to go about another 10, 15 minutes, guys. And then, so we're going to, we're not going to get to everything, unfortunately. I'm convinced a 6 hour stream, we might make it. A 6 hour stream, we might be able to peel the onion back. But it's just so hard. There's so much to say. But I will say this: when the grinding scene happened, and you see his body getting just bent up and broken, and when his head gets all crushed, and it's like, Michael, I'm not kidding you. My heart was sad. I felt a sadness. It wasn't like a Dewey sadness where I was literally in tears. But
that's another one. That's another one I
I forgot about that one.
I forgot about Dewey.
Dewey.
It's another one.
Oh my gosh. Dewey's another one. That's right.
Soon for
Oh, listen. Yeah, Dewey, I was literally crying. Like, I wasn't even, no joke. I didn't even care. I was like, I had tissues and napkins. But with Michael, though, with James Jude, I felt her. I was sad inside. I was sad. And anyway, I'm glad. I'm just glad when you said that, I'm like, identify with you, buddy, because that's how I felt too.
I mean, and I don't mean to talk a little bit, outside of the Halloween realm, but just piggybacking off what you said about Dewey. It's like, to me, what is a Scream movie without the dun 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 dun? You know what I mean? Like, that's like, I don't care what happens next. Like, in all honesty, I really don't. My guy's gone. So
dude, don't get me started. It's my fault. I'm the one that brought up Dewey.
He'll be in Scream 6. Don't worry. Flashback, something.
Man.
Not living, but
It's not the same, Bobby. It's not the same.
It's not the same. Okay, so I think Marcus maybe has something going on right now. So let me.
No, I'm good. I just had to switch rooms real quick.
Oh yeah, you're good. All right, man. So so how did you feel about the final closure on Michael? Like, it's done. Like, there's no way you come back from that. You were ground up in the dog meat. So tell me your thoughts, buddy. How'd you feel in the procession, that final scene?
I expected us to get a definitive ending in this movie. I thought Michael would die. I did not know how they were going to do it until I seen the junkyard and I seen, the grinder. And I'm just like, I think that could possibly be where Michael's going to go. You know what I mean? If you're going to do a definitive ending, I didn't know how else they were going to do it. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it to an extent, but then I do mind it. And the only reason why I mind it is because, like I said, of the way they treated Michael throughout the whole movie. I'm going to use a wrestling trope, and Bob will know what I'm talking about. It's like in Halloween Kills, they let Michael Myers build up this massive heat with the audience. He's this ultimate killer. He's, he's the ultimate, force of nature, and stuff, to where they built that up so much in Halloween Kills that in this movie, they obviously lessened that. So now when we get to that final scene where Michael dies, it's like, do you really even care? Because, you made him look weak. Now, if you would have continued to make him look strong throughout the movie, it would have meant so much more when we seen him die like that. It would have been way more compelling, and like I said, I don't mind it if you're going to do a definitive ending. It's just the execution leading into it. You know what I mean? You had Michael build all this heat in Halloween Kills as this crazy killer who's unstoppable, basically. And then you have him get to this movie and he is so weak. And then it's just like to the point where he dies. It's like, okay, do you really even care? There was no, for me, it was not compelling. You know what I mean? Like, if you would have kept Michael with that moon streak and kept him at least a little bit more active in this movie to feed off what you built in Kills, it would have been way, way, way more compelling. Like, once he died, I was just like, and it's sad for me to say this because this is my guy, but they made me not care. They made me not care that he got grinded up like that. Now, I will say this, the scene itself was spectacular. You've seen everything open up in his body and stuff like that. You've seen the skull, everything. And another thing I did like about it, this was the one Loomis nod really in this movie that we got. And that was obviously from the taping in 2018 where he says you have to cut off all vitals and disintegrate the body. And that's exactly what they did. So that was like the only real thing of it I liked, but it was just, it would have been so much more compelling had Michael been Michael, because now we care. Now it's like, wow, they actually did it. We thought he couldn't be stopped. We thought he couldn't be killed. When you make him weak, now we're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's just
kind of see the writing on the wall.
Right. It's just the compellingness. Like, it was not compelling.
Yeah.
But the initial, like, graphic of it, it was cool, but it was heartbreaking. I was just like, man, it made me mad because I'm like, wow, not only did you do him so dirty throughout the whole movie, this is the dirtiest way you could do him going out if he's going to die. Like,
just throw him in a grinder.
Oh, man.
I got you.
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Real quick, just want to say hi to Hobbs. Hobbs Horror's in the house. What's up, Hobbs? Says, I'm listening at work. Just wanted to come back and show support. I've been here. Awesome. Thank you, man. Really good, respectable points by everyone. That's awesome. All right, guys. And so Bob, I'm going to get your take on Michael, and then we're going to go one last round and Bobby too. And then we're going to do one last round of our final thoughts. And again, guys, I know in 2 hours, it's not all of our thoughts. This is not all of our thoughts. It's just our final thoughts for this stream. Kind of like how Michael Myers will be back. It was just the end for this timeline. So kind of like it is for this stream. There's going to be more streams, and you guys will see my guest again, and we'll have more. We're going to be talking about this movie for more than this weekend. Let me just tell you that. I think we all agree. This is going to be one for weeks that we're talking about. Okay, Bob, go ahead, brother. Just tell me your thoughts on the ending, the definitive ending of Michael. He is dead. And what'd you think about that, man?
Yeah.
Bob, your thoughts? Hello? Can you hear me, Bob? Uh-oh.
Like Marcus and Michael said, I mean, am I on? Because, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. It was silent for a little bit, but I got you. I think you're back now.
Not sure. Hello?
Yep. Hello. You're good.
Oh, okay. I don't know what was wrong because I wasn't muted or anything.
No worries.
Like Marcus and Michael were saying, that the scene itself was fine, but the execution wasn't there. It just, you made Michael weak through the whole thing. I didn't care. And also, if we're going off this whole concept of evil never dies, shouldn't you have also done that with Corey's body? Because we don't really see what they did with Corey's body. If evil passed on to him like they portrayed through the movie, shouldn't you also be doing that to his body? Because then you're ruining that concept that the evil passed on to him. So then you want the evil gone. So you kind of leave it still ambiguous, but not in a good way. Because if they continue with Allison, you have to bring Corey now. Because we don't see what they did with his body.
Yeah. Well, I think just my thought on that is I think Michael definitively killed him with the neck breaking. And I think that we didn't see the body, but I think the reason that, well, think about this, Michael was dead in the kitchen. So the whole grinder thing to me was overkill. Like, in other words, it was for the town. It was to show them, like, not only is he dead, but we're gonna just completely destroy his body. Like, there's gonna be nothing left of him. I mean, that was my interpretation of it. Now, you may be right, Bob. That's just my interpretation of it. Was that, and it didn't. They didn't show Corey. It would have been nice to see them put him in a body bag. I won't lie. To see him like zip him up, or like you say, just stack them on top, and just throw them both in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have been okay with that too, man. So I don't know. We'll see. Good points. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to finish your thought. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, that was the end of it.
Was it?
Because
Okay.
I did, yeah. Because at that point I didn't care. So
Yeah.
good
Okay.
effects though.
Right? Great effects. Great effects. And so it really is sounding so far like for the three of you, and I'll see what Bobby has to say. It was pretty much pretty anticlimactic for you guys, which I think is the opposite effect they wanted for this movie. Obviously, and they reshot that and made those scenes. Bobby, tell me your thoughts on the ending with Michael being grinded up.
So I actually am in the minority here. I
Okay.
actually really loved the scene.
Great. Okay.
I thought we needed a definitive ending on him,
Mm-hmm.
which we got, and I like he ain't coming back from that. Now I believe Corey will be in the next one. That's just my working theory.
Hot
Now-
take. Okay.
Yeah. Now he's probably going to change his name to Corey Myers or something like
So
that.
you're kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I think
Interesting.
he's going to change his name to Corey Myers or something stupid just to make the fan base irate. But the funny part, after when the credits were rolling, I don't know what it was. Must have just been my theater. The credits stopped rolling. Lights didn't come on or anything because I stayed till after the end of every movie. Ever since I started watching Marvel, I stay till the end of every movie.
Yeah.
And there was about a 10-second window where no credits were rolling and the lights weren't turning on. So I was like, I'm not going to hear him breathing, am I? I really thought for a second, I was like, oh no, please don't do this. But luckily, nothing. But I was like, oh no. But it was shot wonderfully. I'm glad they gave a definitive end. He's not finally done, but he's done.
Right. For that timeline, yes.
Yeah, for that timeline. Yeah, obviously, there's money to be made with this franchise. It's going to come
Yeah.
back.
He'll be back. Don't worry. We're going to see that mask again.
Corey Myers, like I said, I'm saying it right now.
Real quick to piggyback off what Bob and Bobby both said, it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting you brought that up because on the way back from the theater, my sister, she felt the same way. Like she thinks Corey's alive or whatnot. She don't think he's dead. And do you think that with the line at the end from Laurie in her memoir about evil never truly dies, it just takes different shape. Do you think that they could be leaving that door open for Corey to possibly be the new Michael Myers now?
Corey's going to be the new Shape.
No,
Man,
come on, please. guys.
Listen,
Written in plain
if they're
sight.
going to go that direction, guys, if I'm saying if, because I don't know if that's what they're trying to do.
Well, see, the reason
I-
I think it is like what
Hello, do you like scary movies?
That's a weird. That is Michael Myers on the other end.
I know, and then he's
Hello,
gone.
Bobby.
So
What's your
what I
favorite
was
scary
what I was-
movie?
what I was going to see exactly. What I was going to say was if they were going to do that, I would like to have seen it in like 78, where they go back to the house and Corey's body's gone. There's just blood on the floor,
Yeah.
and the back door's open or something.
I feel like that. Then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
it
the whole
does.
franchise entirely, loses what made it so great in the first place. Now it's about evil jumping bodies and not so much a slasher icon.
But
It
remember what
changes
John-
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it would be fitting with Carpenter's original
Yeah.
concept of the boogeyman. The boogeyman can never die. He's the
I don't
boogeyman.
want it to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Corey's alive. I wouldn't be surprised. I would like if they're gonna remake this, which they are. I just want to. I wouldn't mind Allison being in it. Drop the whole Corey thing because she's a good actress. Drop the whole Corey thing. Jamie Lee's done clearly. Just have Allison,
Mhm.
and then like
Good.
it's like another Michael Myers chasing her or something.
Well, I don't know about Jamie Lee being done. She said she wouldn't be opposed to coming back in one of the recent interviews she had. So
Yes,
we
she
don't know if
did.
she's really done.
Nope. They asked her about
listen.
that, and she said no. She said it would be stupid to say never. Never say never.
I'm gonna say something. This might be a very poor take. You all might not agree with me. The comments might rip me. I think Jamie Lee should have went in the movie. That was my thinking. I thought they both should have went.
It was possible.
I also thought Lindsay should have went. I want to know nobody left from 78. That was my thing.
Okay, got you.
And almost all of them survived.
They did. They did all survive.
Besides
Allison,
Michael. Lindsay survived.
Hawkins,
Hawkins survived, and Laurie Strode. And I was
and
like,
Allison. Yeah.
you can't just have her keep. It's like this. It's kind of like the Sidney Prescott thing. Eventually, one of these killers has got to get her. I know it's bad.
No,
to
they
say
won't.
That, but
They will never. She will be, dude. What are you talking about, man? She will be 90 years old in a motorized little scooter, and she will still win. Nobody's gonna kill her. No, she's never gonna die.
I don't
Come
know.
on, man.
I was fully expecting Jamie Lee Curtis, or I'm sorry, Laurie Strode,
Yeah.
to be done, to die. And
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see her again. I don't either. I really
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Hey guys, real quick before we wrap up,
I don't think so, but never say never.
No. Well, that's
Well, I
right.
mean-
Never say never.
I'm
No.
surprised she came back for this this
Right.
trilogy. But
I think she was
money,
too.
Money does talk.
Money talks big time, especially when you're given a producer's credit, additional to acting and
And she
creative input.
And she could pretty much do as she pleases.
And yes, that's right. And
Yeah, I was
she
gonna say this
also-
time I didn't think money was a big factor. I think it was more that creative control.
It was the creative control. It was producers' money. I'm sure she's going to be getting from this residually, and also,
Oh yeah.
that's going to be huge. And the other thing too is that she also has a production company now with Blumhouse that she got started,
Oh.
and she has a production company with Blumhouse. And she also just written and directed a horror movie, or she's written a horror movie that she's going to direct the film. It's going to be a Blumhouse release, and so she's got like all kinds of stuff going on creatively now. So
Good for her.
I think it's great, and I mean I'm a fan of Jamie Lee Curtis in general. I really am. I think she's a great actor, and so you're going to see her directing a horror film soon, directed by Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm really going to be anxious to see that, but. Also, guys, real quick as we wrap up, Scott coming in with a $5 super chat. Scott, thank you so much, man. Says in the 17 extra minutes they wasted, there could have been a longer epic battle between Laurie and Michael. There certainly could have been. Also, More could have been explained throughout. Yes, 17 minutes. If they're important scenes, that's a lot. That could sway a story. That could swing the pendulum
Oh,
in a
definitely.
story. Yeah, that's not like 2
no
minutes.
question.
Yeah, 17 is huge. So Scott, you're 100% right, my friend. I'm with you all the way. And thank you for your super chat. So generous of you to do that. Really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. All right, guys, listen, we're going to have to call it a stream. This has been fantastic. Oh my gosh, look, we're at 73 likes.
Come on, Craven. We can go for 5 more minutes to
Come
get
on,
2 more
guys.
likes.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, just 2 more.
2 more to hit
We can
goal.
get 2 more likes.
If I had my iPad, I'd go in and like it, but I don't have it right now.
After the stream, you can fire that sucker up. No,
of course.
No, I'm teasing.
Of course.
But one thing, if you don't mind, I wanted to talk
Yes.
about before we get out of here.
Go ahead. Final thoughts. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead. Lead us off.
And I will get to the Halloween stuff, but I don't want to forget about this.
Yes,
I did a live yesterday, and I brought it up at the end of that. This weekend, if you are in the Midwest, in Lexington, Kentucky, is Scarefest this weekend.
Ooh.
A bunch of great horror icons will be there, including Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, who else is CJ Graham? You know, there are a whole bunch of people that are going to be down there. I will definitely be down there this weekend. I will be down there all weekend. And if you are in that area and you see me, come and say what's up, because I love talking to people about this stuff. So definitely, if you're in that area, this is worth checking out. It is a great show that they put on every year. And I definitely wanted to give them a little shout out while I was talking to so many people. They do great things down there, and it's definitely a fun time for everyone. So if you're in Lexington or near Lexington, Kentucky this weekend, definitely something to check out if you're in the area and looking for something to do this coming weekend.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Michael. Yeah, that sounds.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys definitely. And remember, there'll be people watching this on the replay too. So
and I will be taking a lot of video down while I'm down there, and it will be going up on my channel. So if you can make it and want to see some really cool horror stuff, it should be on my channel probably the week after next.
Nice.
I'll be watching it. I'll be looking for it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Our final round here, and we're going to call it a day, is tell me, Michael, we'll go around, and then we'll call it. So, final thoughts. Halloween ends. Are you going to watch it anymore? Are you done watching it? And how do you feel this movie will stack up in the franchise as far as, I'm not asking you to rank it. I'm just asking you where do you think it will stand? In the bottom, middle, or top of the franchise? I know I asked you like 3 things there. So
okay. Yeah, I will definitely watch it again. Just for the simple fact that it's a Halloween movie. I have all of them, including the producer's cut of 6, which I don't know why I own, but I own it. And I will watch this again just because, you know, it's as much as many problems as I have with this movie. And we talked a little bit about it. It's still part of the family. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this movie, whether we liked it or not, you know, it's still part of the family, and it still has a place. Now, it might not be at the top of the list, but it still has a place. And at the end of the day, Halloween 18 was fantastic. Kills was, I wouldn't say that the story was fantastic, but we got to see the most beast Michael Myers ever. And of course, this is all my opinion. I'm not trying to sway anyone's opinion, but you know what? This has its place in that. You know, no matter what part of the list that it's on, we did get another Halloween movie. We did get a whole bunch of Halloween stuff in prep for a Halloween movie, and I can only hope to God, you know, that we get more soon. Whether we like them or not, gentlemen, this is what we do. This is part of you know, who we are and what we love. And no matter how good this movie is or how bad it is, you're gonna have people that love it. You're gonna have people that hate it. And I'm just glad that we have another addition to our family of horror movies. And we get Scream coming out soon. They're making another Friday the 13th, which has me nervous. Please, dear God, don't kill it. And I'm sure that Nightmare's not far behind. You know, we are getting a lot of our 80s/90s stuff being brought back, and we're living in a great time of, you know, the horror icons again. And I couldn't be more excited to either love or hate these movies and to talk about it with all you great people in here.
Same, brother. Well said. Amy says, "Are they going to end this really and end it?" No, Amy, I promise. I can. I don't know. Look, I haven't talked to Jason Blum, or he's like, actually he's done right now. It's back to Malika Akkad now to get it to a new studio. But
I was in a group chat with
Jason
and Akkad yesterday. Yeah, well, we talk regularly. No.
I was gonna say, Michael, come on now.
At first I was like, wait, what?
I know.
Oh yeah, me and Jay go way back. You know, me and Malik.
Malik's texting me right now. There it is. He's texting me right now.
He's been blowing me up this whole stream. I can't, you know.
But
no, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Craven.
You're okay, man. That's funny. Caught me off guard. I love that. So Amy, without having talked to Malika Akkad, I can tell you though, there is entirely too much money to leave on the table, because I don't care how much money you've made. I don't care if you're Mark Cuban and you got billions with a B, billions. Look, Jeffrey Bezos, I guarantee you he still loves making money every day. It doesn't matter how much you have or how little you have. You always want more. And so I think that Malika Akkad will probably be like, okay, I'm going to rest on my mountain of cash of these, you know, $250 for 18, $150 for kills, and this one we'll wait and see. I'm going to predict probably around $150. We'll see where it ends up at globally. And I think that after a couple years, it's going to be like, you know, I could go another year with what I've earned, but it sure would be nice to make another $150 million, $150 million. Well, you know, I think I'd like some more cash. Let me find a studio. Let's make another Halloween movie. I think that is as inevitable as you getting an IRS tax return request in April. All right. I think it's going to happen. So, Amy, fear not is what I'm trying to say in a very long way. Fear not. Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. I think that now I'm not going to say it's going to happen next year. I'm saying it's going to be maybe 3 to 5 is what I've been saying. So it's going to be, I think it's going to take here's the other problem. They can't do it too quick because they've done one 2 years in a row. And if they keep that up, it's going to get to fatigue, mainstream audience fatigue. Like all of us, we'll be there if they do one every month. We're there. But your mainstream people, which those are the ones that make up, I don't know the number, but the majority of the ticket sales, if you keep doing this every year, they're going to be like, not another one of those. I need a break from that. So it's smart business in the movie business anyway, to not be all the time. So they need a break. They need at least 3 years to give the community a break. So
I agree.
I think you guys agree. I think it's coming back and in 3 to 5 years.
Definitely. They like you said, at the end of the day, and we've talked about this on previous streams, you know, it all comes down to what's in, you know, Akkad's wallet. You know, it's all going to come down to money. And I hate to do this, you guys, but I'm actually late for something.
No worries, buddy.
I do have to take off. But I want to thank all of you guys, and especially you, Craven, for inviting me onto the stream.
You're welcome, buddy.
Anybody in the chat, Bobby, this was the first time I got to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
I've subscribed to all of your channels, and I just ask that, you know, everybody stop by, check me out, Movies and Beyond. My Instagram, Movies and Beyond 78. Hit me up anytime, and I have got to take off, but it was great.
Awesome.
And thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you, Michael. You're welcome. We're going to do it again, man. See you soon.
All right. You guys take care.
You too, buddy.
See ya.
Have a good one. All right.
Absolutely.
So guys, make sure and subscribe to to everyone's channel here. That was Michael with Movies and Beyond. There is a link in the description of this video or stream. If you just go and hit more,
take care,
click
buddy.
down, boom, there it is. All right. So Marcus, real quick, we're wrapping up here. This is our final thoughts. We're going to move kind of quick here because I actually have to run as well. So, but I want everyone to get their final thoughts in at least as quickly as we can. All are you going to watch it again? I think I know the answer. And then how do you feel this will stack up in the lore of the franchise?
I'm going to watch it again just so I can end up doing a deep dive video, about it and stuff on some of the things they did okay, but most of the things they did wrong. After that, probably not so much. Probably stick it in the vault for a while if I do decide to, pull it out and watch it. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of my favorite Halloween movies, I'll say the least. And for me, how it stacks up, honestly, for me, it's one of the bottoms.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. And then Lockie says Ends was the best in the trilogy. Awesome. That's great. I love it. I'm glad that you feel that way. Listen, I really do. I think that, I've seen, you're not the only person that I've seen in this stream today say that.
No, I've seen a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too. And that's great.
It is. Listen, it's a different vibe. And there are a lot of people, despite how it may look, there are a lot of people vibing with this thing, this whole Corey, this stuff. So that's awesome. If you think that, I think that's great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And keep watching it. We need, that's what I'm saying. We need to be buying these DVDs. We need to be renting his stuff. We need to show that we want, because listen, if we don't, they're not going to make another one. They may wait 7 or 8 years instead of 3 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Or even 10. All right, Bobby, real quick, man, your final assessment of the movie. Are you going to watch it again? And where do you think it's at in the franchise?
So after last night, I was like, do I really want to watch this again? But I did promise my grandmother that I would have her over and watch it. She loves the horror movies, so she's coming over Friday. So
Nice.
I have to watch. I have to watch again. I can't.
Okay.
There's no debating that. But it's definitely near the bottom for me. Now I haven't seen all the Halloweens.
Okay.
There's only one I'm missing, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
You're not missing anything.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm not missing much. But I do want to see it because I rewatched the first one the other night, and it was much better than I remembered. And plus, I love Danielle Harris and Scout Compton. I love their podcast, so I figured I got to give it. But
you should watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely towards the bottom for me. I don't know if it's worse than Resurrection.
Right.
I don't know if it's worse than Curse. I can't put it in behind Resurrection just because of Busta Rhymes killing Michael Myers. Well, killing. But overall, it was just like, and people love it, and that's great. I'll probably watch it every year. I watch all the Halloweens every year, no matter how good, how bad. So, I'll be watching it probably again after Friday next year. But I mean, it's not one of my favorites. Let's just say that.
No, that's fair, man. And I will tell you all this. I will watch this movie before the Zombies 1 and 2 and Resurrection. Oh yeah.
Okay, Resurrection, I understand. Zombie 1, I saw it years ago, and I must have forgot everything because I was like, I don't remember any of this. I watched it Thursday night, and I was like, wow, I don't remember any of this. And like I said, Danielle Harris and Scout Compton.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, I love that podcast. So
yeah. Listen, my big, and I know this, and I know we're wrapping up right now, but and one day we can talk about it. My biggest thing about the zombie is that the zombie Halloween is it humanizes Michael way too much.
Yeah.
And I don't want a humanized character that I can relate to in a shape. Yes. That should not happen. That's what bugs me. That's why I can't stand it. He humanizes Michael. He gives us too much backstory, too much origin reasons.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? Nope, I'm done with it. I can't. I want to be Carpenter's shape. That's the shape. It's the mystery. It's the unknown is what makes this so freaky, scary, and he's the boogeyman. He's the shit. So that's my biggest Bobby. That's the reason. I'll just in a nutshell. That's the big reason why I don't like the zombie stuff. It's just too much humanization.
Yeah. Rob Zombie 1 took a while for him to
yes,
because they were showing him as a 6-year-old. And
right. I don't need to see all that.
Even I was watching. I'm like, all right, come on.
Right.
Hey, Bob's back.
Hey, Bob, we got you back. You there, Bob? Can you hear us? Oh.
Said his phone was acting up. Oh, no.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Everyone's loaded in. I couldn't hear anything. Yeah, we're all good now.
All right, Bob. And I'm going to let you close this out, man. You're real quick. Just Just asking because we all kind of need to get rolling, so we're kind of moving into fast forward a little bit now. Because but still, it's important. So tell us your how do you feel about the movie? Are you going to watch it again? And how do you feel it will? Where is it at in the lore in the franchise? Like, where do you think it's going to land?
Well, I'm definitely going to watch it again, just like Michael was saying. It's still a part of the franchise, and as much as I may not like it, it's still a part of it. It's going to be there in history. I'm going to still watch it. As far as where I think it's going to stand, I think maybe one day it'll get to where maybe Season of the Witch was, to where it gets a cult following, but right now I think it's bottom tier.
Well said. And I think you're right. I think time may actually help this movie. Yep, for a lot of people. I know, Marcus. Like, I know, I get it. I know, and it's hard for me to even say that right now because it's so raw. But but you know what? When Halloween 3 came out, it was despised, and that movie, it took time, but eventually, I love. I mean, I like a lot of people. I love the movie. Like a lot of people warmed up to it, but it took a long time.
See, I think the issue that Ends is going to have a problem with in terms of, comparing it to Halloween 3 is Halloween 3, it didn't have Michael in it, which was initially why everybody was mad.
True.
But over time, they accepted that. I don't know how well people who went to this movie expecting to see Michael Myers because he is in it, or how over time that's going to, affect them. Like, are they going to just, be like, you know what, I accept it for what it is. It's a good movie. Or are they going to be like, no, this Michael Myers is in it, so you messed it up by doing it that way?
Well, and no matter how much time passes.
Yeah, but we can't speak on future generations. So, I mean, who knows? Later down the road, when people with hearsay, like, yeah, they kind of ruined Michael, but it was all right. Time can heal wounds.
It does. And you know what? There's a lot of people, like Scream 5, that was their first Halloween movie. And if this was your first time ever seeing Halloween, you may be like, and you don't have the mythology, you don't know the mythology of the franchise. They may say, you know what, that was my first Halloween. That's the movie that got me watching Halloween because I went back and watched the others. And so, Bob makes a great point. It's hard for us right now, and I put me in this group too, because we love the franchise. We know this. We bleed the franchise. We're super fans. Everyone in the chat are super fans. And so this is about as raw. This is like if you get a wound. This is literally like the day after you just got a massive, skin graft. And it hurts. Right now we're feeling the rawness. But I do think it'll take a little bit of time to get over some of these things. But I think we'll feel better later. But but that doesn't mean we'll ever, it doesn't mean you have to like it. And I'm not saying that for any of us, or that you don't have to like it. Like none of that stuff. Everyone makes your own mind up independently, and whatever your feeling is, it's the right thing for you. That's fine. Love it or whatever. It's all good. And real quick, because I can't pass putting this on the screen. OMG, wow, you're so dead on, Craven. Hey, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Come on, I got to put that on the screen. Thank you, Scott.
Got to put yourself over.
Everyone, I'm not gonna, bite a gift horse in the mouth or anything like that.
It was there. You had to do it.
I had to do it. It was just like my mouse just like moved there and clicked. I couldn't help it. All right, the transference of power went to my finger and it would just click the mouse. Okay, guys. Well, listen, I just have to say this has been a blast. I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out for a couple hours with me, and I hope you had a good time as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Great time.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Very welcome, guys. All right, everyone. One last time, please subscribe to my guests. I shot him 6 times. Bobby's Breakdowns, Honey for Entertainment, movies and beyond. Yeah, man.
It was amazing.
Great. Thanks, Bob. And same here. And by the way, guys, we are at 83 likes. We are. It just blew up. You guys are awesome. Thank y'all so much for getting us to 83 likes on this live stream. And if you happen to be here still and haven't done it, please do hit it right now as we're heading out. It would really help this when it goes into replay mode. It'll help more people find the stream. YouTube likes it when you like it. They say, oh, okay. If 84 people or 83 people liked it, then we're going to let more folks know about it. So I appreciate it. And also it helps my guests get more exposure, which is great. Bringing more eyeballs. And Bobby's first video ever tonight on his channel. So make sure you all subscribe to everyone here. Bell
7 p.m.
notification.
Eastern.
What time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh, 7 Eastern. It's going to drop. That's awesome. Great. Well, thank you, guys. Guys backstage, I'll meet you backstage here for our little final goodbye in a minute. But for everyone in the live stream, we're going to call it a show. But I do want to remind you, I'm not done, guys. I'm going crazy. I'm feeling the transference, and it's in me. So listen, I looked at Michael's eyes on the screen too long, and it came in. So tonight, come and do it with me tonight at 10 o'clock Central. I know it says 10:15, but come early. 10 o'clock Central.
Come early.
Come early. 10 o'clock Central, 11 Eastern tonight. We are watching. That's right. Not talking about just. We're watching Halloween Ends with you live, guys, in real time. Night Watch Zone, my guest in Halloween Fest. We've been doing this together. He's going to join me for commentary. Coriander and Katie from Popping the Popcorn is going to be the panel. And we will be giving you commentary as we watch the film. And you guys can give your commentary in the chat, and it's going to be a blast. So make sure you guys get your peacocks all loaded up. And, boy, I got to be careful how that sounds.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I got to be careful, man. So get the movie loaded up. Let me say it this way. On Peacock, the streaming service. And it's real clear, definitive terms. And meet us back here, guys. Really, seriously. Please come back. It's going to be a blast. And this was fun. I really had a great time. So, guys, thank you all again. And for all of you in the chat, thank you for being here. And Paul says, you are a machine, Mr. Craven. You know, got to keep, man, I tell you what, I do all I can to bring you guys what I hope is enjoyable content as often as I possibly can. So, you know, I try. I'm trying, guys. I'm working hard. All right. So we'll leave it there. And we're going to go out like we started with a little bit of Jack Stannis, who made the Silver Shamrock theme song, which really applies here because we got the Halloween 3 font to start the movie off. It was great. So everyone in the chat, have a great day. I'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. And in the panel, I'll see you shortly. And until then, bye, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see you.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. For you craving something scary,